a lot of letters, though. It's a lot of the same thing. And historically, whenever the same thing happens 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, you're like, this can't be the way it goes. But in this case, that's the way it goes.
That's just the way she goes.
Dom, what is the way it goes, and what are we talking about today?
Dylan, I feel like that was pretty hostile. I wasn't ready for that kind of energy that you just shifted at me. I think.
Well, I was just trying to be smooth,
we're trying to
blending
yeah,
in.
I know.
I'm the guest,
so
I just want to make sure people.
I feel like you're
that's right.
helping
I
you with
forgot
anything.
that you were a guest.
The best guest, our favorite guest.
Sorry,
he was trying to help you out.
I forgot.
Kind of rambling.
I forgot to show respect to our guest.
Yeah.
So you want to line me up one more time, there, buddy?
Oh yeah, sure. What are you doing tomorrow?
I got to go to work tomorrow.
What did you have for dinner today, and why was it a fucking no dinner?
Because, it was no dinner.
I had a no dinner tonight for dinner.
I believe I'm going to be having spaghetti, butter, and Parmesan cheese at roughly 11 p.m.
Wow. Very nice.
Can you stop bragging? A lot of our listeners are blue-collar workers.
I made cheese today. Joe, since you asked me earlier, what did I do? I just avoided any and all responsibilities possible. And then I
Familiar territory for us.
All I was going to do was just plan what I'm going to have for dinner, which is the usual, making my own red sauce and meat and stuff like that. And I was like, but I'm out of cheese. How do I make cheese? Made cheese.
Like, quickly?
Quickly.
How?
Yeah.
I thought cheese was a process.
It is
Me
a
too.
process. It's called farmer's cheese, and it's what they put in, like, it's like ricotta, sort of the same process as mozzarella.
It's kind of wet.
Kind of wet, yep. So you take a gallon, well, I did a half a gallon of milk. You bring it about
Skim
to a
milk.
boil, not skim milk.
All right, it was oat milk.
It was
Coconut milk?
whole milk. It was real from the cow.
Okay.
Lactate?
It was raw milk, uncut.
I made lactate cheese.
That's so cool.
Bonjour. I mean,
Fromage.
fromage. Bonjour.
Fromage.
So, no, it's great. Yeah, you just boil milk and then you mix white vinegar in there.
This
and
is
then it starts
unbelievable,
to
Dom.
curdle immediately.
You were starting the podcast, and we still got to with Dylan how he makes cheese.
Yeah.
This is the start of the episode.
Oh, so that's kind of like when you do an Irish car bomb, insensitive.
Yep.
The Jameson mixing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Curdles.
the Guinness mixing with the
Baileys. Here we
the
go.
Baileys makes it curdle.
Yeah, a little bit more though. This would be the
Well, yeah,
grossest Irish
significantly
bomb
more
I've ever.
aggressive because it has an
Yeah,
acid.
that's
in it.
not as aggressive version of this.
This is more of a
then you
Wisconsin
just
car bomb
cheesecloth the
situation.
fuck out of it. You just strain it through a cheesecloth and just squeeze out all the fucking juice.
Is that why they call it that? My
Yep.
God.
hmm And then you let it sit in the fridge for a while.
How long?
They said a couple hours, but I feel like you could eat it immediately.
What'd you do?
Which
Or
is
have
what
you
you
not
did.
finished it yet?
I haven't finished it yet. Well, no, the cheese is done, but dinner's not done.
Cheese stands.
What are you thinking? Like spaghetti and homemade cheese, 11 p.m.?
Yes, it's a frozen Costco steak that I ground up into ground beef.
Do you use the
Meat
meat
Getty.
grinder thing?
Nope, because I broke that.
What'd you try putting in there that broke it?
It was pre-broken, really. You just fixed it up.
Well, all right. Well, Joe's right. Yeah, there is a manual attachment, but it's missing the chopping part, so it just juices it. If you want to juice a steak,
Who does that?
Nice.
yeah, I think Joe saw it one time. You just can juice if you forget.
It looks like a lot of work for a
just
machine.
uses it as
Using
an
machines
auger.
make it
Just
easier.
uses an
You were doing a lot
auger
of work. Which
to-
a knife could have done a better job in a short amount of time.
compress fucking beef to a very couple small holes, and it just
Juice.
juices it.
It does come out, yeah.
That's where the
Nice.
juice comes out.
Yeah,
That's where
that's a
it
nice
spits.
All
thing.
right, now you come.
So,
It's the Dylan Joe Basement Podcast, folks. Look at episode 95. Start the
Hey,
podcast.
we did really good. I think we-
That'll be the beginning,
That
and now we
might
get to the
be-
fucking podcast.
That might be a record for the longest time we've gone without saying something to get us, blocked on YouTube.
Well,
4 minutes.
Only just.
I believe so. Now that Dylan, at least for the next couple episodes, is going to be our hottest guest.
No, that was funny, but I take offense to that very much.
Punishment.
He is a founding member of this podcast, and I will not let that.
We're
No,
back.
dude, Joe, we didn't make the
back
rules.
on the podcast
Dude. This
as
is
I can
just
remember.
how we didn't make the rules. This is just how they were when we started the podcast.
I like giving
rules
you shit,
came pre-written.
It's not going to be a thing we always do where Dylan's a guest. I won't stand for it.
No,
He
absolutely
just
not.
came fresh off the heels of coming back from Mexico. He went right back on the pod, which I get to
Poor
give him
me,
a fucking
I know.
gold star for that. Fresh off.
I don't even remember.
I dragged my fucking inflamed organs, hungover fucking ass here 1 week after, or 5 days after I've landed back from Mexico. You guys should feel really bad for me and how bad shape I'm in.
Hey, Dylan, we always feel bad for you. Don't think it's anything special.
Just
Your shape hasn't changed.
it took a lot to get I'm trying to detox.
That's rough.
I'm on the podcast.
That is rough.
You're detoxing.
It's rough.
Why do you think I'm making cheese? I gotta spend my time somehow.
I gotta do something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Making fucking cheese out of the milk that I bought at the gas station.
That's part of the recipe.
It has to be gas station.
It's already pre-curdled because it's been sitting in the gas station for 3 weeks under the heat lamps.
Yep. I bought that at the gas station last night when I went to pick up ice to put my dead fish in. So don't forget that this half gallon of milk was sitting on ice. Under the ice was a bunch of dead fish.
Now, you haven't lived until you pulled a beer out of a cooler that also has fish in it.
I have done that. This has happened.
You've lived,
Oh,
my
yeah.
friend.
But Dom, when's the last time you pulled a fucking milk out of a beer?
When was the
Last
last
time
time you pulled milk out of
a
beer, Dom?
beer.
And answer honestly.
pull the milk out of the cooler that's got dead bloody fish in it. When's the last time you did that?
With milk?
Oh,
No,
Dylan making it British.
I've only ever done it with my cousin's cooler that had fish in it and Yingling Black and Tans.
So
So
no milk.
none of it was great.
Black and
But you didn't do it
tans.
with milk is the whole point.
No, I already said that I didn't do it with milk because I didn't do it with milk.
Yeah, but you're over there sitting on
with
your
that
fucking
bloody
high
fish in
horse.
it.
Because you're like, oh, you ain't fucking shit unless you pull a beer out of that fucking cooler with all the dead fish in it.
And then you said, I've done that before. And I said, yeah, me too. And then
Well,
you got all
said-
defensive about milk. I wasn't
I
talking
got all
about milk.
like, dude, I did it with milk. That's more extreme than beer.
Guys.
Beer is just...
You guys, I hate when you fight like this. I only like when I fight.
Joe, you ever pull anything out of a cooler
Yeah,
with dead fish in it?
Joe doesn't have any hands. right now.
Yeah. Well, the last time, my first thought I should say about pulling fish out of a cooler was when I was in middle school, which could be any time. Who knows what middle school really is?
You were there for a while.
I was
I know.
up in New Hampshire with
Embarrassing.
Dylan. Remember this person? So James Yeager, who's Mrs. Yeager's son.
Yeager Bombastic?
She hosted a little getaway at her cottage up there. I was invited, and so was my mother. And me and Jamie Yeager went out on the he's got a motorboat, and it's got one of those containers in the middle where you can throw your fish, and you put water in there so that
Oh, fuck yeah.
And we threw all the fish in there that we were catching. We were out in the lake, and then we brought the boat back, and then we went inside, ate some dinner, and then forgot about it. And the next day, oh boy, we opened that thing up, and it was bad news. It was a bunch of dead fish that had been baking under the summer sun for hours. I don't know how we cleaned it out, but that was I'm not proud of that. But I was just a kid. I don't know what the fuck I was doing, but I went to reach in there. Woo boy, that was a spicy meatball, as your
That's
people
a hot fucking fish
Yeah.
right there.
say. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yep.
That's not cool. That's not how you should do it. So, not proud of it. But
No,
that's what I
hot
think about
fish.
reaching.
Hot fish, dude.
I never
Real
reached into a
hot.
cooler with a fish and grabbed a beer out of it, so I haven't lived yet.
Well, we're going to do it soon.
This is tangentially related to what we're speaking about today. I'll do the heavy lifting for you, Dom. Catching fish is a great way for survival. Dom and Dylan can tell you that, and they are a good source of protein, if not a difficult catch or a difficult hunt. And sometimes it's the only option you have. Maybe you're stranded on a desert island. Dom, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about a specific island, but more importantly,
It's
a
called
story.
Pacific. It's pronounced Pacific.
Yes, a specific Pacific island
There it is.
that is commonly. We're not just talking about the island. We're talking about this famous story about the island that honestly It sounds like a movie.
The island would not be famous without the story. Let's be honest.
It's a 100% true story. I'm sure there are, the people that don't care and make stuff up, but it's been turned into movies more than once.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about specifically the Queen of Anatahan.
Anatahan. The island of Anatahan.
Anatahan is a small island.
Wait a minute. What is it called? Because you said it different 2 times.
Anatahan.
Oh, so you added extra N's?
This first time, yes. I got excited. Is that okay?
That's encouraged.
Yeah, Anatahan, which is in the Pacific Ocean. It's in between Japan and New Guinea.
It's sort of midway between the two. Dylan.
You could say. But yes, it is kind of crazy. A lot of weird stuff happens from a little history period era that we like to talk about a lot, believe it or not. It's a little this thing called what's it called? Yeah, World War II.
The Great War. Yes.
Big thing. I don't know if it was. No, it's not the Great War.
The Greater War.
The greatest war.
The greatest war ever told.
This is a story about a little island, and the people that were on the island, and what happened when Japanese soldiers, their ship crashed after getting shot by planes and got stuck on the island.
They were cast away, in a sense.
Tom Hanks was not there, though.
He wasn't born yet.
Sorry to say.
I don't think he was.
Yeah, that's probably true. I doubt he was. I bet he's late 60s right now.
Yeah.
If I were to guess. Yes, this little island of Anatahan was not fully like this. It's a desert island, but no, it wasn't. There was a plantation on there. They farmed copra, which is a the dried flesh of coconuts.
That really? I did not know that.
Yeah, You
did they do anything with the coconut meat, or they just throw that away and they just keep the shucked coconut?
Oh, sorry. When I said flesh, I meant like the meat, like the insides of it.
Sorry. I was picturing the skin.
I would have said skin.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm kidding. I can see where the confusion happened. So they farmed there. It was a plantation that was... Actually, you mentioned the Great War by accident. It was kind of turned into a plantation during World War I when the Japanese were our allies and the Chinese were still not.
People forget about that. People forget. Didn't take long. They turned on us.
Basically, this plantation that was going on was left over from World War I.
Mm-hmm. They needed coconut rations to support the war effort.
Yeah, well, they used coconuts to make telephones, just like Gilligan's Island.
Is that right? I thought it was a sustenance issue. It was a communications problem. Interesting.
Well, I mean, hey, communication breakdown.
Drive me insane, man. So, yeah, it's during World War II. Our story starts when our intrepid sailors, they were Navy guys, right? Their ship was struck.
Yeah, they were Navy guys. The other interesting thing I learned when I was listening to a terrible AI voiceover about the story on the drive home.
Solid. Or otherwise known as 80% of Americans learn any information now.
Yes. This was like 2022 AI, so it was like extra bad also.
Oh, yeah.
So it was before the AI that allows you to take any photo and remove the clothing?
No.
Wait,
no,
is that out?
existed already.
Because
is that the one you used for this?
I've been using that for decades.
I didn't know that was around. I think I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
We should probably stop for a little bit.
Yeah, TikTok keeps telling me I can choose anyone and see what they look like naked.
I mean, you can.
Just use your imagination.
If it's possible, it's possible. The internet doesn't lie, Dylan. I think you know that by now.
I'm sure this works. I'll send you the link. I can probably find it pretty quickly.
It seems like some kind of hazy criminality going on there, but okay.
Speaking of hazy,
it was a hazy day on the Pacific.
Yeah. So the thing I learned, these were, as we found over multiple episodes about war stuff. The ship they were on was not a warship. It was like a civilian transport ship that the government was like, we need this for war. This is ours now.
They commandeered it
as like a troop transport, and they were attacked. A lot of dogfight plane stuff during the Pacific Theater, and the boat got shot multiple times, and they got stranded. They crashed into this island,
and then their ship was sunk.
There was 31 men that ended up on this island. But we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit talking about the shipwreck already.
Are we? Well, I'm sorry. I was trying to push us along. Please set the table.
Only other thing we have to talk about is the plantation. It was run by husband and wife Soichichi Higa and Kazuka Higa. Kazuka was the wife. Shoichichi was the husband. When the war started, Shoichichi went back to the mainland to look for his sister, never returned, was assumed dead. Then the men showed up.
That's kind of a spoiler, isn't it? I mean, literally, you're like, all right, fast forward to way later.
No, this is the beginning of the story, because this is why the head plantation worker acted the way he did when the men showed up, is because Shoichichi never returned.
Right.
So how is that?
Well, because maybe he returns in part of the story. He left his wife, and he's like, "Oh yeah." Well, by the way, just so you guys know, he never comes back
because he never came back. Is why this whole situation came about in this order it did, because he was presumed dead by not showing back up. By not looking at me.
You guys
I never remember the thing. Yeah, Steve Sparrow's my man.
Anyway, but he left another person who I heard was his boss to kind of watch over his wife and say, "Hey, I'm gonna go check on my family. World War II is happening after all. I want to make sure they're still alive. I'll be back. Until then, keep an eye on my old lady here and make sure nothing happens to her on the plantation." And he goes, "A-okay. No, there's no way anyone's going to show up here besides us anyways, but just in case, I will make sure she
This is where a lot of these old stories, and the fact that for us to say the 40s is an old story is crazy also.
Some time ago.
The way I read it was that he left to go check on his family,
and his wife was left there by herself on the plantation? Is that the version that you heard?
Yes, the wife stayed on the plantation.
Oh, well, that's going to fuck up my thing, because a lot of the conflict that arose from what I heard is because the person who was left behind to watch her, that's kind of the reason why things went down the way they were, because if she was just a woman on an island by herself, it might not have gone the same way. But I don't know. Let's get into it.
No, she's the boss's wife.
I was not. I was under the impression that the boss was unmarried, and then she was the wife of his employee.
Kazuko Higa?
No. Kazuka's the wife.
Okay.
Shoichichi is the husband.
Yes.
The way I read it, Shoichichi went to go check on his sister and mother.
Yes, the confusing part is also that his boss's name, also Higa.
Yes, that. They were not related, but they had the same surname.
Yes, and he's the one who was left behind to watch the wife while the guy went and checked his family.
Yes.
Okay, now we're on the same page.
We're on the same page now. Yep.
Here we go.
Okay.
We have the same last name. That's really fucking confusing. It's already a confusing story, and it's like, Joe Collins and Dom Collins, and then John Collins, unrelated. He was watching. It's like, what the fuck? Did change your last name then? Don't you guys know we're gonna make a movie out of this one day?
More than one movie.
More than one movie. All right, let's keep pushing. Sorry about that.
All right, so we'll get this is a good way to clear it up. So then the 31 Japanese soldiers were stranded on the island. And they started poking around, trying to look for stuff to survive, and they found the plantation.
Right.
And the other Higa was like, okay, a bunch of guys just showed up. I need to protect my boss's wife. Let's tell them that we're married, so they won't rape you.
Yeah, I mean... Sorry, you two, but that's obviously the first thing.
It's a historic fact.
Even if it was nowadays, we'd probably say essayed, but it's the same idea. 31 guys get shipwrecked standing on an island with one woman. You got to know that it's this is the end situation where a sexual assault is going to be happening. I mean, Japanese soldiers were not famous for not raping. They were famous for other stuff.
Eating human flesh.
They were not famous for their sexual, what do you call it? Prudence, I guess.
Prudence. Wouldn't be prudent.
Yeah. Wouldn't be prudent. So it's a nightmare. 31 guys show up on a shipwreck. They're all Navy guys, and they go, "Hey, what's going on here? You got a lady here? You got a bunch of plantation food? I could get down with this."
But they're Japanese, so they go, "Oh, she's married? All right, off the table."
There you go. Them's the rules for
then
now.
Everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah, the Fire Nation being America. So they're going on the island. They're trying to survive. I mean, you must have loved if you got on an island and there's a plantation there and a woman. I mean, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. Give you something to think about at night.
At least you can
All
eat some
all
food.
those coconuts.
Well, you got food, you got a place to sleep. It seems like it's relatively safe. You're out of the war. When
But yeah, they're out of the war, but in their minds, like the war is raging.
The war is
right.
raging
They don't know
on,
that
but they're
there's
not
a
directly.
surrender.
I mean, those guys are probably going to die within a couple
Yeah.
weeks if that ship, didn't crash land on that area there.
They're lucky they didn't sink into the sea.
They are. They could end up like the crew of the USS Indianapolis, Americans who were attacked by the Japanese.
Is that the ship from Jaws?
Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Nicolas Cage was in World War II. I believe it. I could see him being a Wolverine situation.
Well, he was a
fights in
Coppola
every
then.
American war.
Yeah, he was the Coppola then. He changed his name later on so he wouldn't be associated with all that jazz.
And all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Joe, what do you got? What do you got left on the transition? The next transition. What do you have?
What I have is that originally, obviously, they're panicking. They're trying to do whatever they can. They're eating all the food they can find. They're fishing. They're trying to hunt fish down. But
Yeah,
naturally,
they're trying to steal your information through phone calls and stuff.
yeah, they're fishing to the PH. No, but obviously, if you're in immediate survival mode, you're not thinking of sustainability, any kind of long-term situation here, whether it's the interpersonal relationships, whether it's the hunting, whether it's the food gathering. At this point, you're just, whatever I can get, I'm getting my hands on, because they don't realize at this point they're going to be there for a lot longer than a couple of weeks. And they came into a crisis because of the fact that they started harvesting, you'd say, all the resources on the island, thinking I'm just going to do whatever I want for now and just try to make my way, until they realized that they started starving because they were overusing the land and they weren't fishing enough and all the other stuff. So they started to have a crisis, which is the first breaking point in this Lord of the Flies style story where everyone gets along fine when the guy's married and everyone's eating coconuts. But once shit starts getting wild, people's tensions rise and the honor code starts to break down.
Which is an interesting point. I don't even remember. I don't think we touched on it enough already. They weren't just like, oh, hey, these guys are already here. They're in charge. They were like, she is a queen. She is the highest in all the land. I just like if we fuck with her, it's gonna be bad. We gotta. I'll survive, but she is the eye on the prize, basically, waiting for that guy to die.
Yeah. I guess when I first heard you tell me describing it as a queen, I was like, oh, that's interesting that they kind of like were like held her above and as like a royal figure or whatever. But the more I was realizing, like, oh, maybe it's more of like she's a queen in the way that like like a nice newer Corvette is a queen, where it's like, I want that, not I worship it. I want that, and I will get it.
I can't touch her yet.
And I should say that, as far as I know, there was two guns that were in play here.
Mm-hmm.
I think they lost most of the weapons, but
not yet. That comes
okay.
after.
All right, sorry, I'm jumping ahead. All right, jumping ahead. So they're starving, and they start to say, "All right, wait a minute, we got to think some kind of orderly fashion here, figure out a pecking order, figure out some kind of small government situation here where we can all get along, because we're going to be here for a while. It seems like they can't exactly radio the brass and go, "Hey, we crashed. What are you going to do?"
Yep. So they were doing pretty good as like a little mini society, running this plantation. Obviously, there was no outside contact anymore. It was just all for them. Then, you know how guys go. You hold off for so long, tensions flare. Someone stabs the guy pretending to be her husband. This whole time, they completely believed, oh, that's your husband. Perfect.
Yeah.
Some stories say that they had a love affair going on before the husband left to go check on his family. Others don't.
It could be gossip. We don't really know all the facts here. I also heard that he started to kind of believe he started to get very possessive of her, probably because it was his job to protect her, but also it could have been like, well, he fell for her. He's not here, and
he's not coming back. We're in the middle of a war.
I'm playing your husband. It's kind of like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith situation where it's like we're supposed to pretend to be married for this, but actually we kind of are married because we keep.
It's a real Captain Phillips. Look at me. I am the husband now.
I'm the husband now.
Like, what are you gonna do? It's 1944, like, and there's no other other women here at all.
Yeah, these 31 guys have to think like, hey, the only thing between me and her is the pesky husband that keeps sticking around, and obviously I'm tougher than this guy.
But yeah, so then her fake husband gets stabbed by one of the soldiers.
I heard he drowned.
Eventually, really?
but I think he drowned.
He drowned
by
on
stabbing.
He drowned on a pile of knives.
Yeah, I think they probably.
Morio definitely stabbed Yoshino to
I
death.
So I
and
don't
took
know who
Kazuko
Morio is
as his
from.
woman.
Yeah, I know exactly the ones that you're wrong. 'Cause I'm looking at it right now too.
Nice. But I'm just saying that, like, I think they're trying to be
Yoshino
sneaky about it.
Higa
Like, oh, I guess
is the guy-
he's drowned by a bunch of knife wounds. They kept throwing people in the ocean.
Yoshino Higa is the guy pretending to be the husband.
Okay.
I don't know who Morio is. I couldn't find anything else saying like Morio is this guy.
Yeah, it's
The
hard
story
to
just goes
differentiate.
Morio stabbed him,
One of the sailors, apparently.
and he went wahoo!
That's exactly how.
Stabbed him right in. I stabbed him. I mean,
Banzai!
and that was the first power shift of this escapade, where it was like, oh shit, you killed her husband. I guess
Oh, right.
you're in charge now.
Oh, right, we can kill each other, and then you become the boss, like caveman style. We were acting good for a while, but then we remembered, oh yeah, you can always just kill somebody.
Everything was all fine and dandy.
What, are you
until
going to
that
call the
motherfucker-
cops on me?
It's like the Stanford
Yeah,
prison
I
experiment,
have the
but
knife.
1950.
Yeah, it's the Anahana prison experiment for sure.
And then where it really starts getting interesting is the island's not huge, but it's still, you're not walking the island every day.
No.
Some men are walking around trying to find some new shit, and two men stumble upon a downed U.S. plane.
Oh, that's when they find him.
And they find two handguns. And they go, oh ho ho. What is better? What is mightier?
I'm the captain now.
The knife or the pistol or the Colt 1911
It's
pistol?
too bad they didn't find the pen, because that's mightier than all of them. But unfortunately,
everyone
they found-
knows pens didn't get invented until after World War II.
Yeah, they're still using feathers at the time
Yes.
to write. Yeah,
And,
imagine stumbling upon that when your fucking tough buddy just killed the guy's wife, or kind of guy. Oh my god, the husband or the fake husband, and
Yep.
you pull up on a Colt handgun. You're like, oh boy, guess who's the captain now? It's not him anymore.
Guess who's a trained soldier with a firearm?
Yeah, they definitely know how to shoot. This isn't like me finding a gun. I bet if I had a gun, though, I could definitely kill someone in one shot. I'd go like this.
You'd still probably miss.
Oh, fuck you. I wouldn't miss. If you're coming for the crown, you better not miss.
You do the
Sorry,
thing.
go ahead.
You put the crown in your mouth. So when you die, you clench down on it so hard they can't get it out of your mouth.
I am the crown. Yeah, it's you
I
need the
am
jaws
the
of
crown.
life to release the crown from my mouth.
I am the liquor.
I am the jaws.
But yeah, imagine that you're on an island. Next thing you know, these two guys both have guns, and they're just like, "Hey, I know you just killed the guy with a knife.
Guess what?
We're in charge of all of you now. We have all the power."
I'm the guy in the back. Maybe we share the gun? Like every other day, we pass it around?
Every
maybe?
pass around the thought until there's only one of us left.
Yeah. Yeah. How many bullets do you have, honestly? I'd like to know that. I bet they go, like, we have infinite bullets. You don't check. Like, you don't want to know.
You like
how
to
many we
think, as soon as they got it, they
Like-
fired one off to make sure it worked. And they're like, oh shit, that's
That
one
would-
less bullet.
That would be a terrible one, because then they'll hear it, and then they'd know, like, oh, shit. I don't know. I didn't hear anything about that. That'd be interesting, the details of how many bullets they had, because that would definitely play into it. It would be one of those things where it's like a Russian roulette where you're like, this is a full clip. You only have one bullet, but you just have to act like you have a full clip. Just to,
Dude, it's the ending of Clue the movie where it's like 1 + 2 + 2 + 1. No. You said 1 + 1 + 1 + 2.
trying to figure out the math of it. Yeah,
They can't figure it
I
out.
bet for sure they acted like they had more bullets than they did, no matter how many they had.
Absolutely. But it couldn't have been that much. Dylan, I'm sure you know about this. How many bullets
Probably
for
a clip,
handgun
right?
were airmen carrying with them?
Or a magazine, I should say.
15?
Yeah.
So you think they have one full magazine and then a backup, and that's it, probably?
I would think they probably carry a sidearm with 15 or 16 rounds in it, and then an extra clip. It's 30.
So would it usually have 15 rounds in it? That would be the... Okay.
I'll double check on
I
this.
thought it
but
was
I'm
like
pretty
10
sure
or
it's
something like that,
15.
but-
On the Colt
Yeah.
45.
Yeah, let's look that up.
19.
Dom,
That's
keep
what we're
talking while he
guessing.
does that. We don't have to wait for him to do that.
But yeah, so of course they're obviously gonna like.
No, I was very wrong. It's 7 to 9 rounds for 1911.
So,
So
we'll
maybe
say,
they had
we'll say-
18?
We'll say 18 max.
Sure.
Yeah.
And two of them?
But
so maybe if none of
this
them
is-
got lost?
This is a lot like the guy pretending to be the real husband. It's like, Oh no, we have a weapons cache that you don't know about. We're not going to tell you where it is. We hid it. But really, they have 20 bullets each between the two guys that have guns.
Yep.
You can do a lot. You can do a lot of crowd control with 20 bullets. And there's only 31 of you there. 2 of you have guns. Plus,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know the exact records on how many of the plantation workers were still there.
Yeah.
But
as far as I know, they don't factor into the story very much. I have to assume they either
because
there.
they're still just workers. Also, there's a little bit every once in a while you find a story that says, "Oh, the workers were natives," and you're like,
Okay.
I don't know what that means, but you didn't say Japanese, so it can't be good.
Well, everyone who's not Japanese. I mean, I know now, like in this is not excusing anything about the modern world. Obviously, and America has a vast history of this, but it is always like interesting when people who are kind of like not in the know, or sometimes people are younger and they grow up in America, they go like, "Oh, America is like so racist." Our history of slavery, red line law, and it is, and I'm not denying that for a second. But like, you want to talk about racist? Japan was racist as fuck, dude. During World War II, everyone who wasn't Japanese was an animal, a dog. You could do whatever you wanted to them, and they had any war crime laws that are Japan. Like, no war policies were like you have to treat them respectfully, whatever. Anytime Japan treated anyone respectfully, it was because they thought they could get something out of them at the time.
Dude,
so even Chinese people, Koreans, they were treated as vile slugs. So if there's natives, they don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Bottom of the barrel.
They probably killed all of them to build a plantation in the first place, honestly.
They could build...
well, someone's got to work the fields, right?
Slaves are not exclusive to America. I don't know if you know that.
No. I wasn't claiming that. Not at all.
The Japanese...
I'm just saying, Japanese racist as fuck.
They convinced their own soldiers it was better to die than to live and lose. Imagine what they do to people they don't care about.
Yeah, well, that's one of those things. It's like the Germans or the Russian army like invading Berlin, where it's like if you get captured, they're gonna do worse to you. And the Americans were like, "Yo, we won't do that bad to you." Like, I know you guys do shit like that, but we don't.
The Americans are like, "No, you know things that we want to know."
Yeah. So I can see why they could. This does have to do with the story a lot because like they convinced their soldiers like if Americans get their hands on you, they're gonna do worse things than we do to Chinese people, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's awful." It's like, no, they won't. Like Americans aren't heroes. Like they're gonna do everything good all the time, but like they're not. From all accounts I've seen in World War II, besides like sporadic moments of going off the reservation, the American war effort was not doing things nearly as vile as the Japanese Imperial Army was doing on a daily basis.
No, it's almost like we were coming. It's almost like we were in a Great Depression when we joined this thing.
Yeah, we were doing awful things to Japanese people on American soil, but we weren't.
Yeah. No, you got to respect people in their homeland, though.
Sure, yeah.
Until you want to kill as many as possible. That's why you drop, it's fucking Little Richard or whatever his name is.
Well, we don't need to get into all that.
No, we talked about that already
so many times. But yeah, so they got the guns now, and they're bosses now. There's 2 guys, and they are now default, much like in real life today. If you have the gun, now you're the boss. That's just how it works. If you can kill anybody on a whim, you're now the boss man. Now there's 2 boss men. Which the power play would have been turn them against each other, do your little worm tongue thing, and be like, I think that guy was talking shit about you.
Believe it or not, introducing guns to the mix did not make anything better.
It made it much like any society. Introduce guns, things don't get more peaceful. They get more violent, and the suicide rate skyrockets.
Yeah, 11 men died after the guns were found.
Interesting, that.
I don't know if they were killed or suicide.
Well, I know there was a lot of drownings.
I bet there weren't a lot of
suicides.
There was a lot of drownings after that, and it's hard to say whether they got delusional from seawater or they just forgot how to swim, but there are a lot of people drowned after that. Is
it like COVID if you are in the water and stick it in your mouth and pull the trigger?
They consider it a drowning by
drowned.
default. Yeah. He didn't come back. He's still in the water now. What do you think happened?
What if there's a guy that is pissing you off because he likes the girl you like, and you grab him by the back of the neck and you fucking stuff his head in the ocean just like you would in the toilet, and then you shoot him. You shoot him in the back of the head. Is that drowning?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because if you have a heart attack,
did he die of natural causes? I don't think so. He definitely drowned. He's still in the water now. His lungs are full of water.
Yeah,
of course, his brain is in the water
and
too, but his lungs are
he's
full of water. That's a
Still
drowning.
in the water for sure.
Oh yeah.
There's no
Oh,
getting him out.
absolutely.
So a lot of tragic drownings happened after the guns came out. But if we want to do the math on that, now we have
piece of ass, by the way, just for a reminder for everyone.
But again, Dom, you are rushing it a little bit because this didn't happen in a weekend. They were here for multiple years before all the people died.
Yeah.
They died, a lot, but it wasn't all like in a week. They went on like a killing spree. They were, very selective about the drowning.
Yeah, because if you don't want to do too many too fast, you're losing workers.
It might get suspicious. Bang! Oh my gosh! Do you hear the guy drowning over there? I had to cover my ears. He drowned so loud.
But yeah, this is in between the process. I mean, this is by the time the Americans arrive,
we're like the war's over.
The war's over.
Yeah, this is like 46,
and they come over and they're like, "Hey," they're waving flags. Like white flags are like, "Hey, the war's over," and they're like, "Nope."
The Americans knew they were there, and they knew the American. Like they were seeing Navy ships go by.
Because the Americans knew where their plane crashed. First off,
yeah,
and they're like, "What are we going to do with that?"
And they saw all the dead bodies floating away from the island. They're like, "This didn't just."
Yeah, they're like, "All right, this is what happened.
We'll deal with this in a bit." It's just...
Yeah, actually, that might have helped with the drowning because the war was going on. You could hide. It's like Andy Dufresne breaking the rock during Thunder. Like, bam! Oh, someone drowned.
Yeah, that was probably that that wildcat going down in the water. They can't hear the guy going, ah! Let go of me! Let go of my neck! Oh no, that was a Mustang hitting the water. That's no good.
Like,
Mustangs are Navy planes. P-51? They're not Navy planes.
No, you didn't see a lot of Mustangs in the Pacific. You saw more.
No. Wildcat though, that was a good.
Hellcat,
bull, right?
Wildcat, Corsair, Avenger.
Thank you. Avenger. That's probably what put it down. The Avenger.
If I remember correctly, if I can get my planes right, the plane that they found on the island was a B-29. Was that? Did that see Pacific time?
Probably would be a couple more guns. I think we'd have a bigger problem.
Oh yeah, because it had a turret.
I don't know.
It's got turrets.
A little more ammo.
You can detach the 50 cal that's got.
It was probably a fighter plane, or
that's true. That makes much more sense.
That would have been awesome. No one look over there. Fiction. That's my house.
Historical fiction that would be a lot funnier. Is that?
Bring him over the
edge. The 50 cal air cooled. Like,
I can drown 60 men a second.
There's gonna be so many
belt-fed chains of ammo, and they're like, I'm getting her. This two guys, I got the girl now.
This is now where me and my wife live now in this fortress that I have built.
But I'm not saying they didn't find. Let's just say the Hellcat or the Avenger with the guys.
I think that's probably more likely.
That happened first, and these guys are like, look what I got now. And then a couple of years later. They found the B-29, and they're like,
now we're taking care of business. There's going to be some drownings going on here.
Yeah, we're going to drown the shit out of you guys if you don't give me
I'll drown this whole fucking island if I have to. I mean, they get that
I'll drown this whole island if I have to at 500 rounds a minute. It's going to be fucking great.
It's going to be loud and proud, like me.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I figured out what it was. I remember I had the numbers wrong and the letter.
Therefore, you said the exact wrong plane.
Everything's wrong.
I was going to say the right thing. I just missed all the letters.
They didn't. Hold on, is this right too? All right, I'm just going to go for it and say it's right. It wasn't a B-29, it was a P-38.
It's not like a surveillance plane?
No, P-38 Lightning 2, dude. P-38 is a beautiful airplane.
I know we talked about this before. I'll put it up on the pod, obviously.
Double engine P-38 Lightning.
Yeah, when I saw the double engine, in my head, that was like a surveillance plane. But I remember they had the double engines, but no, it was an attack.
And technically, super fast.
Was most successfully used in Pacific theater, yeah.
We must have talked about it during the Shark episode, probably. I don't know. We did talk about it, though.
We've talked about it. We brought up the World War II planes.
We love talking about planes. But yeah.
Well, one of us does.
I like it. And Dylan knows what he's talking about, so it helps.
But yeah, basically, all hell broke loose.
Mm-hmm.
Nicely done.
Mm-hmm.
When the Americans showed up, just like always.
Well, I think that should be a little teaser for our first commercial break. What do you guys think?
I agree.
Sounds good to me. On the next side of the story, we'll see what happens when Americans show up. Usually goes well for everybody. Just ask Guam.
Attention listeners, it's me, Hornswoggle McGonagall, and I'm on the hunt for a vicious cryptid. I could use your help. We're on the hunt for this vicious beast. I know not its name, I know not its pronouns. It's out there roaming the woods. Legends have it, they be telling children they can be who they want to be when they grow up. It's okay to have feelings, it's disgusting. This thing's roaming around. Legends say it has a unicorn horn on its head that can beam into your eyes. And it tells you have to make your friends understand how much you care about them. It's disgusting. It's positively filthy. I'm hunting this thing down, folks. It needs to be stopped. Legend has it, you're not looking, it'll give you slight compliments to how you're doing. You're working hard in your life, and you're trying your best. You should be so hard on yourself. It's positively disgusting, this beast. I need your help, listeners. If you have any knowledge of the beast, any tracking knowledge, where it could be, where it's going, if it talked to you, and it told you should reconnect with your brother because you love each other very much, I want to hear about that disgusting filth. Not for my own well-being, but for the well-being of all of us, when I hunt this thing down and sever its head from its bloody neck. Reach out to me, folks, at Hornswoggle McGonagall on Twitter, on Twitch, next videos. Appreciate your participation. Let's hunt the thing down for good.
Wow, what a break! Love a good break sometimes like that.
Yeah. What movie did we watch during that break?
Legends of the Fall.
European Gigolo.
I watched
both.
Fall.
I watched both.
You watched both of them? Yeah, good back to back.
That's why you wouldn't.
One with
return
each
our
eye.
calls.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh yeah. One for each eye. It makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
You're actually wasting
during
time
that
if you
break,
watch with both eyes.
I noticed that the fish that I buried in my yard is gone now.
Again.
Wow, you already used that one on the last podcast, but
No, I did more of them. And
oh, you did
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I told you, do the box.
I thought you learned your lesson. That's my
How am I
bad.
supposed to do this?
You buy wood and you build a box, or you
Put it in a
find wood
cage.
and you build a box.
And then I bury it, and then the fucking
No,
animal,
you don't bury it.
You
You
just
put
can't get to it.
you put wire mesh over one end of it so bugs can get in, but no animals can. I'll show you how to build this.
So I just have a rotting fish in a chicken wire box for like 6 months.
You're worried
Yes.
about being weird now?
Yes, you don't bury.
That's
it.
fucking weird, Dom.
I don't want to come across as odd to my neighbors. Meanwhile, you have a fucking pinwheel hat on. You're going, honk, honk,
Burying fish.
Don't eat the fish.
Well, when I was
You have a spear hanging 10 perches in the back. They're bleeding out. You're like, I'm not weird. I don't want to put it in a box. Fucking
Well,
weird.
speaking of weird, when I was getting, I just had to kill 3 fish. I've killed some fish in my lifetime, and I felt really. You feel weird about that every time.
course,
And
you're
like that
ending a
lady
life.
saw me and the fucking blood all over the thing.
Oh,
And,
when you took a shit in AutoZone, or is that a different story?
That's a different story.
We're not going to rehash this.
But I
This
went
is
to
not-
the gas station, and I was like, I didn't want to just buy ice because it was like cheap. So I was like, I guess something else. I was like, oh, I'll get a V8 juice.
Should have got a
and then I was
V8.
like-
You did.
And I was like, all right, now this is looking really weird. Like, I just murdered 3 fish, and now I'm going to drink a V8. Like, this isn't making any fucking sense, dude. Like, so I was like, I can't do that. That's just looks like serial killer shit.
So you bought a box of goldfish instead.
Got a Gatorade and some
Yeah,
eggs
Gatorades and goldfish. You're like,
and a
"That's
half
not
gallon of milk.
You just get a bag of ice and a box of condoms. You're like,
Yeah,
I'm having a
yeah,
weekend.
something's going. Having a good weekend. So welcome back, guys. We can't wait to tell you what happens when the Americans come to the island. And Dominic, before that though, does world
wants to briefly
famously
describe
have a
the
lot of
geography.
information about the island that he wants to share. He was born with this knowledge, and we just kind of want to see.
He kind of wants to set the scene, paint a picture for you.
Yeah, paint the picture.
Visualize.
I do. I'm definitely a painter of such. I just want to take a second because I feel like we all agree we were so ready to go. 95. We're getting into this podcast. We forgot to describe the island itself.
We did.
Anatahan, it is it's an elliptical shape, kind of oval. Not the workout equipment from the same name, same spelling, which is very interesting. I don't know why that works, but it is. It's about 5.5 miles long, about 2.5 miles wide. Okay. In all, the thing's 13 square miles. Big, but that's a small island.
It's not big for sustaining a
and
society.
It's a volcanic island. At its highest peak, it is 2,500 feet tall. So that's just under half a mile tall in something that's 5.5 miles long, 2.5 miles wide. That gets steep.
It's basically
fast.
The whole thing's a mountain. It's one of those volcanic island things.
And I mean it's full volcano. It last erupted in 2007. Like it's an active volcano.
Imagine how much power you would have if you're the only guy on that island with a gun and you're on top of the fucking volcano.
You're the king of the world.
No one can fuck with you.
I control when the volcano fires. It fires when my gun fires. Yeah. Then boom, you don't need to shoot your gun ever.
Yeah.
Only thing that would be the problem is if this was the war still, and then a P-38 came and strafed them.
Yeah, I see the guy on top of the volcano.
That would be fun.
How about this? You're like, we're going to sacrifice a virgin to the volcano. Everyone get up here besides me.
And Queen, you stay too.
You stay. We all know you're not a virgin. No.
At least you won't be tonight. Nudge, nudge, nudge. It's like, who are you nudging to? You killed everyone. Oh.
Is that what you call having sex, nudging somebody?
Dude, I nudge all the time. That's what it sounds like, right? Mm-hmm. So, Joe, what do you know about the Americans that showed up?
So, the Americans did know that there were people on the island. They observed them upon their seafaring travels. They didn't make a big deal about it. It's like, well, there's no military operations there. There's obviously nothing. When they flew over the island, too, they could tell that there was no secret installations or bunkers that they could see. And when the war ended, they started dropping leaflets, which is a thing of the past. They don't really do that anymore. But the idea is to drop pieces of paper that tell people things and go, hey, this is what the deal is. You use it in war a lot to either spread messages to the civilians and say, this is what the deal is, surrender or flee. Or they would also drop them as propaganda. And they'd say, you're going to die soon. There's no hope for you. It's kind of like a way to spend a message.
There's the famous, I believe it was Vietnam, where they dropped extra large condoms with English letters. Be like,
this is true.
This is how big our soldiers are.
That is so fucked up.
Mistakenly, accidentally dropped the box a little closer to the enemies, and they're just
oops! Huge. I almost dropped the monster condom for my Magnum Dong.
Dong.
Yeah. So they dropped the
and that also could be a sign of besides banging the local women. Who are they banging each other? If I was the Vietnamese, I'd be like, are they all gay?
Maybe even scarier when they show up here. Maybe my wife's not in danger. Maybe I'm in danger.
Everyone I know, yeah, sure, but everyone I know in the army, they don't go and have sex with people. Sometimes they jerk off in the porta potty like everyone else does.
Yeah, but you didn't know anyone.
Well, that's a modern thing.
In 1940,
they weren't. I mean, I'm sure they were jacking off in the 40s, but they were more doing the sexual thing, not
definitely.
Just,
oh yeah,
they weren't going in a town and going, oh, this is not protocol to have sex with a local woman. I have to beat off in the the porta potty. It was more.
They were like, I liberated your city. Now I'm
getting some.
You.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that was probably even in Vietnam, that was probably a salient message to send. These are coming for you.
It's like now, it's kind of cool for gay guys to flip a hetero. Back then, they're Christian guys like, hey, I flipped a Jew. Cut it,
bitch.
It all stays in.
I flipped the Jew.
Oh boy,
that's rough. So anyway, so they put the leaflets down. Basically, they're saying, "Hey, you guys, the war's over. Let's get off the island." And because of the fact that they had as terms of the unconditional surrender of Japan, they were not going to allow a Japanese military vessel to go pick these guys up because they were, as far as the law was concerned at that point, there was no more Japanese military vessels. That was just America's going to take over from now on. So they had to get picked up by Americans, which is the last thing they wanted because Americans were the enemy and they're evil and they're going to do all kinds of awful things to you. So they read them and they were like, "Fuck this! They're tricking us. They're going to try to let us get on the boat and then they're going to do the condom thing with all of us. We don't want any of that. Only we get to do that."
Mm-hmm.
So
famously known as the condom thing.
They didn't believe them, and they didn't for a couple of years after that. It was years after the war ended when they started dropping leaflets that they still wouldn't get off the island. And Americans weren't going to approach them. They didn't want to have a violent encounter, but they also didn't want them to stay there. And don't forget about their families who survived the war. Granted, they weren't from Tokyo, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Kyoto, nameless cities that they could have been there. If they were living there, their families were still alive and they're worried about them. They probably presumed them dead. They didn't know they were even there, including the woman's husband, who we talked about before. He should have known that she might still be alive. He never went back to check, which is kind of
and something happened with that also.
Mm-hmm. So do you want to get in the middle of that, or should we get towards the coming to a head of the island?
Which one came first? I honestly don't remember.
I think that honestly, because we blew past all the deaths during this whole time, people were still getting drowned. So that's just that kept happening.
So many drownings.
Yeah. After the war ended, there was a lot of drownings. Post-war drownings, and other guys were.
Well, yeah, that's
becoming
swimming at that point.
Yeah. I know that there was definitely a point near the end of the encounter where basically one of the guys with the gun was like, "Hey, I'm going to become the husband now." And the other guy with the gun was like, "Hey,
no more sharing? What the fuck?"
Yeah, the other guy with the gun was like, "Hey, he's looking to kill you." I don't know if he was telling the truth or not, but he basically said...
they started to scare the queen.
Yeah, she said, "Go hide in the jungle of this, 5-mile long island and go hide out."
And this adds to the constant story of this place where there's two plots going on the entire time. Because there's the side where it's like, "Oh no, the guy told her, go hide so he doesn't kill you." Then there's the other side where she goes, "I felt like I was in danger, so I went and hid in the forest."
She was definitely in danger.
She was in danger. Because we're going to find out.
But I don't think the guy was going to kill her. I think the guy was going to kill him, and she didn't want to be around for that kind of shit. So she went and ran and hid.
We're going to find out pretty soon why, specifically, there's two sides of the same story that are almost identical.
Okay, we'll go for that now, because my next thing is her waving down American naval ships.
Oh, mine comes after that.
Okay, so she goes and hides in the jungle, and she figures at this point that it's been 5-6 years. The jig is up now. It's over. It's been fun.
Yeah, the noose is out. They
finally found me. Yeah, exactly. So she's leaving in the American ships. The American ships still don't want to approach without that happening, but they go to approach to try to pick her up because she's obviously being a distress signal. And at that point, they want to pick up the rest of the islanders and bring them back home. They have no intention to hurt them or kill them, whatever. They still want to get
we're at this point, it's been long enough after the war ended. We're allies.
I believe it's 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 50s now.
Yeah.
Elvis is known when this happens.
Well, Dom, really swinging for the fences here.
More importantly, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea came out already.
Wow, so other ship-based...
Wow, that's a really good way to tie this into other episodes. If you don't know that reference, watch every episode until you know it.
And it's how far they traveled under the sea. That's
how deep they went.
Not how deep it is.
Kirk Douglas, his brother,
hottest
his
role,
son.
You're right.
Great movie.
Kirk Clark Duncan.
Dude, also Kirk Douglas, Ace in the Hole, one of the best movies I've ever seen. Garrett, fully serious there.
Haven't seen it, but
my words are not working.
Kirk
tonight.
Douglas is cool as fuck, so it's probably as good. Is it about poker or gambling or something?
No, it's about someone being kind of stuck in a mine.
Oh, he's the ace and the hole is the mine?
Yeah, it's about the Ace in the Hole is the new story about him being stuck in the mine.
Okay.
It's very good. It's very good.
All right, well, we'll take a break now. We'll watch that, and we'll be right back.
Wow, that was great. Let's keep talking about the Atanahan
Now I know why they call it
Island.
Ace in the Hole.
Anatahan. I keep saying it wrong.
It's your story. You have to say it right.
It's a hard. It's a hard word to say. Anatahan.
Just say it. Manhattan. Manhattan. That's what you want to say.
There's 5 A's. Well, this is not a project. There's 5 A's in it.
There was 31 or 32 A's at one point, and it got down to 12.
Well, I mean, there was 32 Y's.
This one's called A's on the Shoal. That was a good one. Fuck you guys.
That was not bad. I will admit that.
Thank you. Hey, let's keep moving.
Yes, not only. So she was waving down American ships. American ships came in again. They were like, "Yeah, I know, the war's over." I mean, it's been 6 years. Some of them believed them. Some of them didn't.
Some of them probably didn't want to believe. They had a good thing going. They're the guys with the guns.
They really
We're
did.
doing good.
I wouldn't want to go. It sounds great.
I'm this guy.
I'm not going to be this powerful when I go home. I have to have a job. I don't have a cult going. I don't have a queen. I don't have any of that stuff.
You can't just kill anyone, make your own rules. Sucks.
Yeah, I have to talk to my parents again. My kids that are left behind. That's going to be a bummer.
Yeah.
I have to agree with Koreans now. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, careful, Governor.
So, Joe, if this is to jump your ship too much,
no, keep going.
She hitches a ride. She gets back. She goes to the mainland of Japan. They drop her off because the Americans are like, "We're trying to bring you back to Japan. We're not trying to kill you." Like, they're literally like, "It's over. We'll bring you back to your country.
Right.
We don't want you to be stuck here anymore." And she gets back there, and she writes a book about what happened there. And she starts acting in plays about it. She's trying to get into movies.
She was a real. What was the name of that soldier who came back to World War II? He had like 100 confirmed kills.
Han Solo?
No, it's like his name's like Artie something. You know what I'm talking about,
I know in Vietnam, the guy with the most sniper kills was Carlos Hathcock. But as far as World War II,
What was that? Wait, hold on. What was that name again?
Carlos Hathcock, most confirmed sniper kills of all time.
That's pretty badass, Carlos Hathcock.
But in World War II, I think, Artie fucking something.
Artie Lang?
No. Something real American.
No. I don't know who it was. I never heard the story about the American with the most sniper kills.
It's Audie Murphy.
Audie
Audie Murphy?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has like a lot, most confirmed kills, and he became a movie star because it was like, hey, I'm back home doing movies.
So
it's kind of like how Mark Wahlberg
certainly
became a movie star because he was an American hero for so long. He was the lone survivor. He stopped 9/11.
So you're saying this guy was almost certainly the motivation for Hans Zoller in Inglourious Basterds, but on the German side. But Tarantino's going off of his American knowledge. Like, we'll make it the guy. Well, you know what? Okay, we're gonna make the guy German. Okay, I'm making the movie. Your movie, my movie. Okay, I know. I'm gonna make the movie.
Well,
He's
we all know Inglourious Basterds is an American Western. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Frederick Zoller. We always say Hans Zoller because it's funny because it's Hans Landa, but Frederick Zoller is definitely Audie Murphy.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't say it wrong.
Yeah, it's very similar because they even made movies about him being a hero. Yeah, it's a very similar thing. Yeah.
Whatever. So she's over there back in Japan, writing books, doing plays. No, she's an actress now, but
must be insane to see women for the first time in 6+ years and be like, now I'm part of society. I'm making money.
Like, I'm just like you.
So.
Yes. So she's acting and all this stuff, and then people find out, like, oh, wait a second. She's not good at this. She just has a story.
Yeah. Nowadays, they just have her make the book deal. You're not going to act in it.
And she's trying to act out her own story as if, there isn't drowning drawn to her head. Mm-hmm. And she's just like, I can pretend I'm not going to drown. It's like, yeah, the entire time you were there. Not the entire time. Just in the third stage.
Yeah, we're all going to drown.
The threat
of
drowning.
How people drown in the bombing of Tokyo?
So many, dude.
It was like almost 1 million people drowned in that thing. It's like 500,000 people or something.
Do you know how many people? Do you have any idea how many people drowned at Nagasaki?
The reason why I said the firebombing in Tokyo is because it was more than both atomic bombs combined, which is crazy. We never talked about it, but way more people died in the firebombing than in both atomic attacks combined. It's like 3 times the amount.
Will they use Greek fire or something?
They just used incendiary bombs. So it's like the whole fucking city was made out of wood. So see you later.
Alligator.
It's like Dresden. Similar thing where it's like, yeah, they don't talk about it, but it's like way more people died in Dresden and in Tokyo than in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. But it wasn't exciting in atomic, so it wasn't as big of a deal.
So does it bother you that Americans say Hiroshima, even though it doesn't follow with the?
Yeah, I say it the regular way, but it's Hiroshima.
Hiroshima. Yeah.
You follow the what's the? I'm blanking on the name. What's the? That's an A.
Enunciation.
Anatan.
Close enough. Doesn't matter.
Atomic warhead.
Yes, the atomic warhead of Hiroshima.
Yeah, Hiroshima.
We're talking about. I'm just kind of trying to reference how easy it is to relay Japanese without actually knowing how to speak it, just by knowing that the letters make the phonetics. Sorry, not the
phonetics.
A.
Phonetics starts with an A. The Philly phonetic. Yeah, no. In most other languages, all the letters sound the same no matter what. It's only like weird shit like English and French where you start having rules about what order they're in. You know. So yeah.
Did you guys ever
go
take
back
karate?
And they get the rest of the fucking guys, don't they? They get them. They come home.
Hold on. Dylan, are you supposed to talk about karate?
Yeah.
What? I gotta ask you one quick.
It's
thing.
pronounced karate.
Where'd you get those meat cleavers behind you?
It's a good question, dude. Those are actually from my brother-in-law. He has an Etsy store where he buys used antique knives and meat cleavers,
shit.
And then he paints horror movies on them.
No, they're fucking awesome.
And so
those are all cool, especially because they look like cleavers and they have amazing artwork. But your machete with Jason on it is even a larger art piece, which is awesome.
Yes, it is. We'll view that another time. But that's a good thing.
Now, I'm not going to address the fact that you are now Scuba Steve. I think that we'll just let the listeners are going to have to realize that when you don't watch the podcast, you're missing out on a lot of elements.
Yeah, there's some comedy.
You're
some
be able to tell in his voice.
Relief.
It sounds like he's plugging his nose, but he's not. He's just,
I'm not. It's just I just have a fucking scuba stuff on. But no, did you guys ever? You guys never took karate?
I did take karate.
I got the yellow belt.
Did they make you count to 10 in Japanese?
No.
Ichi-ni-san.
That's
Ri, ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju.
Wait, hold on.
But what's Ri then? Because Ichi is 1.
Ri is 0.
Oh, so you do 0, 1, 2. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So you counted to 9?
Ri, ichi, ni, san, shi, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju.
Okay, so Roku, the streaming thing, they only offer 6 movies.
Yeah, it's called 6.
That's funny. I never realized that it was called Roku. How about fucking Hachi from Hachi Machi, the popular saying? What's that all about?
How about Hachi the dog?
Yeah.
Hachi sorry, no, that was a toilet wine. Best.
Yeah, but still. Hachi.
I don't even know if that one came out yet. Maybe it did. I don't know.
It did.
Probably did. It did. I probably just didn't make a video for it.
You did.
I don't believe so.
I don't believe anything you say about anything about that.
Exactly.
So what happened next?
Yeah, so she gets back to Japan. She writes her story. She's acting it all out, and she's not quite a star. She's getting close, but she doesn't really make it. The next thing you know,
she's more of a white dwarf, and that's totally
the
astronomical
planet
speech. Yeah, that's totally fine.
And then next thing you know, the men that showed back up. That didn't stay on the island.
We can even call them that anymore.
They just go, no, I was in charge. I had guns. They're like, didn't the guy with guns stay there? Like, no, I was in charge. She's a whore.
Everyone wants their own story. They're like, she was a manipulative bitch. You mean the only woman on an island with all you guys, and she survived somehow? I don't even care if she was manipulative. She fucking survived all you maniacs there. I hope she was manipulative to fucking make her survival count. I mean, goddamn. I don't believe anything any of those guys say, by the way. Even if she's lying, I still believe her more.
Yeah.
She went through all that
multiple
shit.
stories. Multiple men like, no, I was in charge. We all slept with her all the time. She betrayed her husband. She thought she knew he was still alive because he was still alive, by the way. I don't think we touched on that.
Yeah, he started a family. He never came back.
He started a new family.
He never even checked on her.
He tried getting back, and Japan was like, no, we're at war. You can't leave the country. He's like, okay. Fine. Hey, new wife, get over here.
That's cold-blooded, man. I don't even care who you are.
Also, we keep doing this. This is a theme of the ep. We keep
just like
going
Castaway, where he's gone for 2 years and then she remarried immediately.
Helen Hunt,
he's
gone for like no.
He was not gone for that long for that to happen.
Then she buys like a 1994 Jeep Cherokee. Like, come on, at least get a Grand Cherokee, you poor son of a bitch.
No, that was his car before he went missing.
Shh, I know that.
Oh, okay.
Well, I didn't know that.
Get your movie details right.
My favorite part of that movie is when he's on the floor of the hotel room.
His ball. He's like,
no,
Spalding!
That's the worst part.
Spalding!
First time I ever cried in a movie was when he lost Wilson.
I cried too when I first saw it. I only watched like 95% of that movie because the other parts, Barbara was putting her hand over my eyes and saying, "Don't watch this part. Don't watch this part."
Well, when he's taking his tooth out?
It's the same way when I watched The Shining for the first time. She was like, "Don't watch this part. Don't watch this part." Which I'm happy.
Don't watch the part where the naked lady turns into a zombie.
Part I didn't see till later. No, I think it was the part where he finds the
hands
captain
with spiders.
No, where he finds the pilot's dead body bloated on the beach and stuff like that. Like
that's not that bad.
Yeah, whatever.
I agree, but I wasn't allowed to watch the movie at all. It's only because I got to watch it at her house. It was lucky.
Dude, I remember. I forget, and I'll never forget. The first time I saw The Matrix, I was 3rd grade. Brendan showed it to me. And he's like, "Don't worry, I'm going to cover your ears during swears." First thing, Neil just goes, when he's trying to hack the computer, it's like 5 minutes in, he goes, "Fuck." Brendan goes, afterwards.
Earmuffs.
It's like all those videos right now where people like drop a wine glass to hide the sound of their fart. And there's one where this kid, he throws a glass baking dish in the kitchen. And then he's gonna fart at the same time. He throws it, it's smashed to the floor, and then he goes.
Have you seen
what the fuck is going on in there?
It's still so funny.
Have you seen the one where the guy walks in the elevator? There's like 4 guys in it, and he goes, and they go, "Come on, guy, really gonna cover the fart?" He goes, "What?" And he presses the closed door button.
Yeah, and he's like, "No, dude, get the fuck out of here." Yeah, I've seen that one where he's like, "No, get the fuck out, man." Like,
those people are so much funnier than I am, dude. This is such a good
dude. Just we gotta give that generation some fucking credit. They're
good.
cranking out some funny shit.
They got
they definitely got jokes. Like, dude, in class, they'll drop their pencil and then fart. Like,
yeah,
it's like that's funny.
Like so far after it.
It's good shit. There really is
do
good
that
shit.
one time. That's a classic comedy bit right there.
Oh yeah, no, it's good. It's definitely good. The one with the glass dish is really funny.
I have not
so
seen that
loud,
one. That one
breaking glass, and then it's like takes a second.
Shatters. That is like a few seconds before he farts.
Yeah, it's like a couple seconds, and then he fucking rips. Then his dad's like, "Jason, what the fuck is going on there?" Or something like that.
Fucking pandemonium in the kitchen.
Funny.
It's good shit. Does anyone remember where we left off?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the guys are
back to her husband.
The guy made a new family, Castaway, all that.
Castaway. Green Day song.
Hey.
No, you can't sing when you come back to it. You have to just come right back into it.
Yeah, so they come at Joe. Do you have anything else on them on the men showing back up to
the
Japan?
end of my information is they all came home and they are all disappointed and they all
so they all came home and they all lied about it.
Well, not they all came home. The drowned people never came home.
Yeah, well, the drowned ones didn't.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of them drowned on the way home. But they totally went against her story.
Totally.
And they all believed them, not the men, not her. And she got ridiculed.
I can't imagine in the
And
middle
she got-
of Japan that they would believe the men and not her.
She got thrown right out of the spotlight. And they were like,
Wow.
"Oh, you lying bitch. I bet you wanted to get drowned the whole time."
Baka.
Baka! And it's just it totally got flipped around on her,
Wow.
who was, most likely was
Believe
the most
all
accurate one of
stranded
them
women.
all. But honestly, I think the most surprising part of all this was not only the fact that, first off, it happened. This was, 1949, 1950 when they got back to Japan. The first movie about it came out in 1953.
See, now you have to have some perspective on it, man. It's too fast. It's like they're making a Donald Trump movie right now. It's like it's too soon. You have to have some perspective on it, man. I know.
No, because they're gonna fucking ramp up the Trumpies with that. Like they just want to get him in there.
Yeah, that is an insane.
We should go undercover to that fucking movie theater. That's
you know who's in it too? The Winter Soldier. He's playing Trump in it. From Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Sebastian Bach.
Yeah, Sebastian Stan. He's playing
Sebastian
Trump
Maniscalco.
What?
Yeah.
Huh. No, those dudes are gonna be fucking rock hard in that movie, and they're gals too. That's gonna
They know
be fucking
that.
funny.
They know because everyone.
Oh,
Who hates
yeah,
Trump's
no,
gonna
I know.
watch it, and everyone who loves Trump's gonna watch it. That's why they're making it.
That's gonna be insane.
Can't wait.
Yeah, that's rough. That is very rough.
I'm gonna hate it, but I'll watch it.
Well, I gotta say, and I'm gonna bring this up mostly because now that I've been involved full time with this podcast for about a year and 3 months.
Wow. Hey.
Round of a fucking applause, dude. But really, like we owe you our everything. Amazing.
You're in, Chief.
I want. Hold on. I'm not the year in chief. I thought Dylan was. So no, Dylan's the scat chief. You're right. Maybe I can be the year in chief. This is one of the very, very few occurrences over 4 years, roughly. I don't know, of the DJBP. This went unsurprisingly smooth. We almost have to make more time. Dylan, why don't you? I know there's one thing I know you're dying to tell us. Scuba gear and all. What is your favorite plane? America or Japan? That was involved in the Pacific Theater.
Wow, Dom, it's a really great question. Thank you for asking me this. Favorite plane involved in Pacific Theater? I mean, boy, what a question.
Mine, Enola Gay.
Yeah, all right, I can't top that.
Because I'm gay.
Dude, did you see it? That's so funny. Yeah, Enola Gay, great plane. Great, yeah. Favorite plane? Well, don't forget that the Dauntlesses that were used as dive bombers were piloted by Dick Best. That's a sick plane.
The best Dick of all.
Dick Best dropping bombs out of those things.
He's just ripping ass.
Species Zero, which is the Japanese guy there, and then we had our different names for them and stuff like that. But for me, I think that I've always liked the F4U-2 Corsair. That one is Jiggy.
Pull it up, Joe.
Is beautiful plane. The prop is so damn big that to bend the wings, it's not that they're supposed to fold. It's that they had to raise the prop off the ground. So the landing gear had to go make it longer, and it holds the record for fastest speed at like normal altitude too. So it's super powerful, and that thing just fucked up the Japanese. Like before we invaded, like the movie fucking Letters from Iwo Jima. Couple scenes where the Corsair couple of Corsairs come in there and strafe those guys, and you just see it line up, and there's fucking nasty fucking airplanes.
Fucking nice.
Yeah,
I think it must have been loud as hell too with those fucking giant engines, just no sound deafening at all. Just
Corsair had the double wasp engine, which produced like 2,600 horsepower as a turbo supercharged radial. on
You
that
better
one.
believe it.
And it turbo supercharged. It had both. And
Oh, hell yeah.
called the Double Wasp. And yeah, fucking loud, huge prop, fucking just going in, 50 cals, just lighting up shit. It's fucking nuts.
They're beyond that island, just hearing these things buzz over them, knowing their demise is only
Oh yeah.
just one straight
Dude, I
away.
mean, I gotta say, especially I'm not a huge plane expert, but the thing I love, but specifically about World War II, World War One also a little bit.
The genocide?
The amount of the hypocrisy.
There's the hypocrisy is the worst part of it.
The amount of planes that are like, wait, who built those? You're talking BMW. There's the main reason why
Rolls-Royce?
Rolls-Royce made engines. Only they supplied tank engines and all plane engines. They weren't building the planes. They were all supplying the engines.
Rolls-Royce supplied the most famous fighter plane engine of all time called the Rolls-Royce Merlin,
That's what I'm talking about there, Big
which
Shoots.
was used in the Spitfires.
They weren't building the planes. They were giving the engines.
Spitfires,
All right, well,
the Hawker Hurricanes, and the P-51 Mustang all used the Rolls-Royce Merlin.
Dude, and Rolls-Royce was also one of the best builders of tank engines at the same time. It's incredible.
The same engine, dude. It was a V12.
It was a strong possibility.
Yeah, V12, dude.
That was my favorite plane in World War II, the Strong Possibility. That was
P-51.
Yeah, that was the British way of saying we're going to drop bombs. It's a strong possibility. Sorry.
Yeah. There's a strong possibility. Oh, we're fucked.
Excuse me, Winston Churchill, you're going to end the war. It's a strong possibility.
We'll fight them on the beaches. We'll have a strong possibility that we reach them. We'll fight them on the beaches, fight them on the tanks.
It's a strong possibility.
I need a cigar.
Boss hogs. No, the main reason why when Nissan, the car...
Mitsubishi built the Zero, right?
First started, yes. When Nissan first started, also Kawasaki, who makes dirt bikes and pianos.
And ninjas.
Yeah. Motorcycle.
I'm talking about the political assassins,
Go
not the
Ninja,
motorcycle.
go Ninja, go.
We're building refrigerators while they're building bombs.
Yeah, Panasonic is one of the
We're
oldest
building
companies
dirt bikes while they're
around.
building pieces of shit. We are the kings.
The reason when Nissan first started selling cars in America, they rebranded as Datsun is because they were concerned that American veterans would not buy anything that said Nissan on it because they were making planes that the Japanese were flying.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad idea.
Yeah, exactly.
They were right about that. They were right about
that. Mitsubishi and BMW.
And Mercedes.
And Mercedes. The BMW logo is literally plain.
I've never heard anyone talk shit about German though. Only the Japanese said like the fucking Japs are building cars, fuck Japanese cars. No one's ever get mad at Mercedes or BMW.
It's probably
They're always
because
like
I don't know
Germans.
for sure, but I'm pretty sure for the most part
Germans are white people, so it's not as angry.
Yes, but also I think
that's what it is, right?
The U.S. Air Force, they were mostly flying for like the flying battles.
One of those Dylan, what's your favorite flying battle if you had to pick?
Good point. Oh, it's fucking in the skies over Vietnam, a deadly supersonic dogfight between the F-4 Phantom.
Why do they call them
and
dog
the
fights? Shouldn't they call them bird fights because they're
Colonel
flying?
Robin Olds is pounding the seat of the F-4 with the Rio in the back.
Or fight them in the beaches, or fight them in the plane battles.
Favorite stories of all time is the Robin Olds F-4 fucking
Phantom.
When he turned ace, shooting down MiGs with only no guns.
Ace in the hole, baby.
So that's a good one. But yeah, Dominic.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dom. Please say your
all
stupid
sorts of shit. Also, another cool fact too that people forget is that Hugo Boss did make the fucking Nazi uniforms.
Yeah, every single major German engineering industry still exists. Bayer,
yeah,
who helped make chemical weapons.
No, the worst one. The worst one is Draeger, who makes anesthesia machines and ventilators.
What do they do? No. Nothing good.
Take a guess. They like things that work with gas. So
interesting.
Did you know this fun fact?
Draeger, if you go to the Holocaust museums, you'll see the gas canisters. They drop down the things and they say their name on them.
I like how they branded it too. This
they made sure people knew who it was them. It's like that really backfired, didn't it? Now
Dude,
you're like, oh, you're
the
going to try to
Volkswagen
save
Beetle
people?
is one of the best-selling cars of all time.
Yeah.
Designed by Adolf Hitler.
Yeah,
Yes.
doesn't Volkswagen just mean like the car of the people, like the people's car?
Volkswagen,
Yeah.
yeah, basically, because he had Ferdinand Porsche design a car
People
for regular
wagon.
people.
Volk is people.
On him.
Yeah, and wagon is like, wagon.
Car.
Yeah.
Another fun one too is that so in World War II it was called the Kubel wagon, and it kind of looks like a bug or whatever. But it was military, and it was the Kubel wagon, and it's that thing where you think of the most annoying fucking Nazis driving around in it and being fucking annoying, picking up people.
Yeah, they're always.
Well,
you know what? I think about Nazis?
rebranded-
They're a real big pain in the neck. Those guys.
They rebranded that and continued selling it through the 70s as the Thing.
Oh, that's the orange
Yeah,
one that your buddy
the
owns.
Volkswagen thing.
Yeah, the Volkswagen.
That's what I
would-
pictured.
I would- I would
Like
love to have a
the
Volkswagen
olive
thing.
drab colored one where they're
Yeah.
walking around saluting. I won't do it
Oh
on
yeah,
YouTube.
they're
'cause
awesome.
I don't
It's
want to get
rear
flagged.
engine, Volkswagen bug rear engine. But I love. They're like,
Yeah.
all right, well, we can't call it the Kubel wagon. What should we call it? I don't know.
The thing.
Yeah,
The
it's,
thing
it's
from-
a
thing.
thing.
It's
Thing.
like the thing from another world. The fucking 80s Kurt Russell movie. It's the
Great
thing.
movie. Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
My favorite little World War II fact that shouldn't exist is that Mussolini's
It's not in the Jedi
granddaughter.
Archives. Oh, sorry.
No, Mussolini's granddaughter, politician.
Oh yeah,
Right
she's
now?
currently she's doing
She's
great.
she's in Italian Parliament.
Yeah,
Mussolini's
that.
granddaughter.
Appreciate that.
she literally is running as like the
she's-
Italian
she says-
Brotherhood fascist party that's totally
She
popular.
says
Oh, wow.
Paschetti, just like her grandfather.
No, but
Paschetti.
she doesn't even hide it. It's not even like I had nothing to do with him. Like he's made mistakes. It's just like, don't you want it when it was like when my dad or my grandfather was in here, when all the fucking non-Italians were in here? They're like, yes, sir,
Do you know who her aunt is?
dude. Italy's in trouble. Dude.
Adolf Hitler's grandson.
Coco Chanel,
Sophia Loren.
Sophia Loren. Okay, yeah, it's
Is
another.
in the Mussolini family. Sophia Loren is in the
Yeah,
Mussolini
these people
family.
are all fucking related. Dude, this goes
Fascists.
back to fucking Romanov dynasty being first cousins with the fucking English assholes.
Yeah,
King-
I get that, but
You know,
that was out
it's
of like
you
the
have a way with
monarchy
words I wish
shit.
I had. That was beautiful.
Huh?
I said you have a way with words I wish I had. That was beautiful. What you just
Yeah,
said.
but that was the old monarchy stuff where they're all like incestuous. The Mussolini shit was like, because the ideas come back over and over again, where like people wanting things to be the way they were and being racist, it never ends. So it's like, why don't we just go back to Mussolini? It's like, this is exactly what happened when he got there.
Yeah.
You guys hung him, or hanged him, I should say.
Do you know what her campaign slogan was?
Italy first.
Say
Make
what
Italy
you
great
need to
again?
Say what you need to say.
That's not what it is.
Of course not. She doesn't have a slogan. She's a woman. I mean, she's a Mussolini. Oh, that was
I
a
thought
close
mine was
one.
better. Miga.
I'm not going to say that mine was good.
But that's basically the whole thing, right? Every country with fascist leanings is that we just need to make this country what it used to be when I wasn't alive yet, and everyone hated people who weren't like me. That's the whole idea, right?
My
Make
grandmother
Italy great again.
told
Make England
me
great again.
that was great.
Make
before
America
I
great.
was alive.
Yeah, that's the idea of
Therefore,
what it used to be.
older is better all the time, guaranteed, no matter what. No
Yeah,
one
right
has
now
ever
is-
been wrong about that.
Yeah, right now sucks, and the future is uncertain. So the only thing that's good is the past, which I don't have to actually live in because it would suck for me. So I'll
Living in
Make
the
America
past.
great.
Great song by Jethro Tull, 1969.
we went to the moon that year. That was Kennedy.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. How dare
He was
you?
dead in 69.
Oh yeah, but it was he's the one who sent us there though. Not because it was easy, but because it was hard.
Hard.
All
And
right.
so we will go to the moon. That was really bad. I'm embarrassed.
That wasn't that bad. I liked it. It's not as
I
good as
thought
your
it was pretty
Tarantino. Your Tarantino's on point. It's right on point.
The Tarantino can get better, though. I'm working on
Of course,
it.
it can get better. It can always get better, but it's great. All right, well, why don't we say we take a cut here? We'll do final thoughts, and then we'll roll out of here back to the back stateside. What do you guys think?
Sounds great.
I agree.
Folks, I'm hot on the heels of this beast. Or should I say, his little splishy splashy web toes, because I'll tell you this, that our recent victim told us that it has webbed feet. And when the webbed feet splishy splosh near you, it makes you want to call your mum because she's worried about you and she cares about you very much. She loves you. and she just wants to be alright. And the creature makes you think those feelings inside you, and I think that's just disgusting. I'll make my own decision, thank you very much. So anyways, if anyone has any details on the web feet prints, or maybe it's soft dragon wings it has. Because there's, pray tell, there's tail or dragon wings flopping in the wind beneath the trees. And if you get caught in that beastly gust under the wings, it makes you think about the mistakes you've made in your past and people you took for granted who loved you very much and who you didn't love back, and I think that's just disgusting. The beast needs to be stopped. So if you have any information about little splishy, sploshy web toes, or even a gust of bust, you let me know. At hashtag HornswoggleMcGonagall, if you care at all. Which I do, and you should do.
Up with you.
Welcome back to the Dylan and Joe Basement Podcast. We are at a stage where we're ready to talk about final thoughts, and we're very excited. So, what an episode, as I always say, and what an island. Who wants to give us a start?
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
Want me to start?
Yeah, Joe. Why don't you start with your wrap up?
Take it away. I think that this whole tale is it invokes a spirit that many people are excited about. No wonder they made it into a movie. It's Castaways, it's Lord of the Flies, it's World War II, it's the Island of Dr. Moreau. It's all the shit all combined in there, and I think it's a fascinating tale. And I guess we'll never really know the full truth of what happened, or who drowned and didn't drown, or who was coupled with who. But I think that definitely it's a unique time in the world that this would be able to go down. And people always think of these weird stories about being stranded on an island. What would you do if this was the way the world was, like a microcosm of the whole globe in this little section here? And I think it's cool as hell and fascinating, but sign me up for never, ever having that happen to me. I'm on the record as if my ship goes down and there's an island over there, I'm going to drown, whether I have to drown in the water or drown by knife wounds or to a bullet to the head. I don't want to be part of this fucking fake society with eating coconuts and basically like a fucking locker room of guys poking each other around, starving, dying of thirst, wondering about what home is. I don't need any of that. Survival, in my mind, never been in that situation, but in my mind, not nearly as important as what my life was beforehand. If living means living like that, then let the good Lord in heaven take me up, because I ain't fucking doing that. This goes the same for the apocalypse or a zombie apocalypse. I don't want to live through it and be like the Norman Reedus. I want to die. If the atomic bomb is dropping, I'm running towards it, not away, because I don't want to see what happens after.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I love you too much.
Dominic.
All right, I'll give this a go,
thoughts.
Joe. That's nice final thoughts.
It's a nice go, Joe.
Yeah, there's some good stories like this, including this one. This one's the fucking funniest one. There's a successful one with some dudes who they got strapped on an island because of a plane crash or some shit, and they survived for like 7 years. They made their own fucking guitars and sick shit.
It's an impressive story of the human will, but it's, you know.
Oh yeah, and it was awesome.
I won't talk anymore.
Oh, it's great. So, but I also, like, if this is the turn that my life took, sounds fucking awesome to me. Like, let's go.
Wow.
I'm down. I don't really feel like fighting over some fucking island bitch, but besides that, I'm down with the survival stuff. No phones, no fucking just old school analog living, making shit, fishing, just living off the land with nature. I'm excited for this to happen to me.
Yeah, we were holding out for our final episode where before that Dylan goes into the wild, like the book and movie, and goes and lives in the woods for 5 years and then dies by eating rotten berries or whatever.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear that story, I'm like, I know a guy who would definitely do that and definitely die, but he would die on his own terms. So
I also have a hard time sleeping at night, so it's a little tough.
Really?
Lack of sleep should be
An
fine for
island,
survival when
maybe
you're
less,
hallucinating
but I would
ghosts
think
attacking
like
you.
what type of fucking monsters are on this island? What's haunting it? What's going to come?
There's
There's
only one true monster. That's mankind, and that is
Well,
their
right, but I'd have enough time to
But
build
you don't
a
get the
fucking
couch.
nasty shelter,
I get
which
the
would take me
couch.
not that long, and I'd have a nice place. Then I'd be fine. But if I was just sleeping on just sleeping on a fucking rug in the middle of nowhere, that's a little scary to me.
Yeah.
That's a little scary to me.
The
I
idea
could
of
make
everyone
this work.
around you being potentially your enemy, like literally every time you fall asleep, you might wake up with someone slitting your throat. Like that doesn't seem very comfortable to me. I don't know.
I'll figure that part out. That's not cool. But what's my other option? Go to fucking an office? I'm getting tired of that. That's not fun.
Yeah,
Not
Well,
fun.
you can just keep swimming until you can't make it back. Like Gattaca style.
like Jacques Cousteau.
Don, what are your final thoughts?
Sounds good.
That's a good final thoughts, Dylan.
My final thoughts are nothing we've ever done on this podcast has ever made me want to watch the movie about what we talked about more than this story.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
it's
Not even Napoleon?
crazy. No, because I knew about that more going into it than this.
Right.
This is my own idea for a podcast.
Mhm.
I had the idea months ago. Today we're like, I was like, yeah, let's do this one. I looked into it. Within 2 paragraphs, I was like, this is already more interesting than I thought it was going to be. It's astounding. And also, in the fact that the movie, it's not Napoleon made in 2023. The movie for this, 1953.
Fresh, yeah.
It's a
freshly
70-year-old movie. I can't wait to watch it and see how it's might be one of the most direct story to movies ever. There was a year, two, maybe
Not
in
since
between
Patriot Day with Mark Wahlberg. They make a movie
just
so
gonna say
fast
that.
after something just fucking happened.
This is like the first Patriot Day, basically,
Yeah.
Dom. You nailed it.
Yeah,
and
and
Anunnaki Island.
that's all I have to say about that. Anunnaki Island.
Hell yeah,
Well,
dude.
well, guys, that's it. There's a lot of when I was doing my research for this, there's other stories we could do more episodes on, some updates, whatever it is. Yeah,
We're
we'd
gonna
love
do
to
more
know.
episodes, you guys. I guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
Just like Men's Warehouse.
No, about shit like this, and about Dom's gonna watch the
I
movie.
mean, hey,
we could definitely get a little
as much
feedback
as we
from that.
love top tens, our real, bread and butter is historical events,
And the paranormal, which we've been neglecting. For
which
a while,
is
but we'll get back
historically
to it.
accurate almost always.
I still think we need to do a New Jersey Devil one sometime.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We did Nessie, we
absolutely.
did Bigfoot. I mean, the Jersey Devil's got a lot of traction.
Oh yeah,
so.
he's
We could do
fucking for sure.
tie Champ into it.
Champ.
Yeah.
We saw Champ this weekend when we went to Burlington.
Mm-hmm.
We saw him bopping around there. He poked his
Champ's
head up for
there.
the eclipse, and he goes, "Not for another 20
That
years."
actually would have been a
We'll
good
be
time
back
to
then.
not look at the eclipse and just stare at Lake Champlain. See
He was doing a big old bop bop ba doo da ba bop bam boo.
Yeah, that was why he popped up. He said, "Everyone's looking up. Here I am." And he took a picture. He took a selfie. He was like, and he went right back.
Yeah,
to it.
that would have been a good time to see him. Don't ever forget that Lake Champlain has lampreys in it, so don't swim in it. You'll get one attached to your
Yep.
dick.
Jeremy Wade.
Jeremy Wade on the neck. Scary.
Also,
Oh yeah.
What? Oh, nice. Oh, that was good, dude. That was a good one.
So that's I think we kind of say now is thanks for drinking our toilet. Oh no, sorry, Dylan showed up today.
how
thank
dare
for
you?
listening to the Dylan Jordan
We
podcast.
gave you the lead in this episode. This is what you're gonna fucking do with it? You're gonna promote your other podcast that you're on sometime?
No, I didn't say
Is
it
that
all the
part
way.
of the terms and conditions of
That's
like a non-compete?
disgusting. We
I
gave you
didn't
the
say
lead
it all
on
the
this
way.
one, and you use that power. You abuse the power.
Joe, I
You know what? If you had the gun on the island, I bet you'd be a real dickhead.
I think we all would.
Not me. I'd be a really cool guy.
Yeah, you're right. You'd have it in your own head the whole time.
Yeah, I told you what I'd do with
If
it.
you don't say yes, I'm gonna do it.
I'm
said-
sucking the guy's dick and putting a gun to my head.
You
He's gonna let me do this.
You said, "Hey,
What?
buddy, you know what? I'm gonna shoot my own fucking face."
If you don't let me suck your dick right now, I will blow my head off. You really want that on your conscience or your penis? All right, that's enough of that. Dylan, want to take us away?
All right, guys. We'll see you next week for episode 96.
Wow.
Almost
We're so close
100.
to 100. I can almost taste it.
Almost
I've
taste
been
it.
tasting it for a while.
Yep, it's going to be good. And don't forget to go to the New England Auto Show on the
Yep.
27th.
April 27th.
27th, we'll be
Yep.
there.
Dylan Joe
All
Basement
three of
Podcast
us
will be
Sponsored
there.
by the Dylan Joe Basement Podcast.
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well, we will catch you guys later. Adios.
Adios, amigos.
Sayonara.
It just juices it.
Does come out, yeah.
That's where the
Nice.
juice comes out.
Yeah,
That's where
that's a
it's
nice
All
thing.
right, now you come.
So,
It's the Dylan Joe Basement Podcast, folks.
pick up ice to put my dead fish in.
So because, well, yeah, you don't want to do too many too fast. You're
No.
losing workers
It might,
at
it might
that
get
point.
suspicious. Bang!
weren't there
Oh my
29
gosh, do you
of
hear
us
the guy
yesterday?
drowning over there?
A couple more guns. I think we'd have a bigger problem.
Oh, yeah, because it had the turrets.
I don't know.
It's got turrets.
A little
that
more ammo.
You can detach the 50 cal that's got.
It was
4
probably a
barrels on
fighter
it.
plane. Or
That's
a
true.
torpedo.
That's that. It's like now, like it's kind of cool for gay guys to flip a hetero. Back then, there were Christian guys like, hey, I flipped a Jew. Cut
Flip
it.
the bitch.
It all stays in. Wow, that's a really good way to tie this into other episodes. If you don't know that reference, watch every episode until you know it. But Tarantino's going off of his American knowledge, like we'll make it the guy. Well, you know what? Okay, we're gonna make the guy German. Okay, 'cause I'm making the movie. It's your movie, my movie. Okay, I know. I'm gonna make the movie. It's like 5 minutes in, and he goes, "Fuck." Brendan goes afterwards.
Earmuffs.
I'm just like you.
So.
Yes.
I bet if I had a gun, though, I could definitely kill someone in one shot. I'd go like this.
Until you want to kill as many as possible. That's why you drop, it's fucking Little Richard or whatever his name is.
Well, we don't need to get into all that. But
No, we talked about that already.
Favorite plane involved in Pacific Theater? I mean, boy, what a question.
Mine, Enola Gay.
Yeah, all right, I can't top that.
'Cause I'm gay.
Dude, did you see